Podcast power. Y'all make sure to go over there and check out Real Talk on musicloveawards.com and vote for their podcast to be #1 podcast. Make sure y'all go help them win that award. Let's go. musicloveawards.com. Make sure you vote for Real Talk Podcast. Okay? Y'all heard me. All right, let's get it.
Hello, I'm Author Nikki Nicole from the Breaking the Silence podcast, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about one of my favorite podcasts out there, Real Talk Monday. It airs at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's on Pandora, Spotify, YouTube, and so many more platforms. If you're looking for a real conversation from a godly perspective, with a little twist to it to get you to thinking, tune in on Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
What is up, everyone? It is another day, another time, and another week for your favorite Monday night show. And I'm not talking about Monday Night Football. I'm talking about your favorite show, my favorite show, Real Talk Monday. Let's get it. I need y'all to go on, like, tag, share, tell everybody, and tell somebody that Real Talk Monday is on, because we are continuing on with the conversation that we have been having all month long, which is on healing before your next chapter. Once again, we are talking about healing before our next chapter. Hey, to my sister Sarah, we miss you, sis. We know that you would be here if you could, but keep on doing what you're doing, handling your business. Hello, Ashley. Hello. And you all, we want y'all to tune in because we have a great show for y'all tonight. I promise y'all will not regret this. I have one of my big sisters up in here with me. One of the angels from Charlie's Angels. If y'all will understand that later on why I call her that. But this girl is crazy. She is amazing. She is anointed. She is a realtor. She is a life coach. You name it, she does it. She will help you get your life together. And I'm talking about none other than Miss Antigua Moore. So you all tune in, and after this brief interlude in my Sarah Renee voice, the next space you will see is of my guest on the night, Miss Antigua Moore. Let's go. What is up, sis?
Hi, Charlie. How are you doing today? I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited to be on your podcast. We've been trying to do this for what, a year now?
Yes, like a year, like literally, like little over a year. We've been trying to make this happen.
Yes.
Once again, what up, Author Nikki? How you doing, fam? Once again, y'all, if you love the graphics that y'all are seeing from Web and JC3 Studios, it is coming from Miss Woman right here, Miss Author Nikki Nicole. Y'all better go on over there and hook up with her, because she will help you get your stuff right. So, sis, like I said, we are excited to have you.
Uh-huh.
Like you said, we've been trying to do this for like over a year, probably, to get
Yes,
you
yes, we
on,
have.
and we
But it's
finally
God's
did it.
timing, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this was perfect. When you told me you was ready, I immediately started smiling. I'm like, "Cause what better time for her to be ready to come on than when we are
Uh-huh.
talking about healing before your next chapter?"
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Perfect, perfect. So I gave a brief introduction of you. So at this time, what I'm gonna do is before we jump into these questions, I'm gonna allow you to give you yourself a little shout out and allow you to introduce yourself a little bit.
Well, hello, fans. My name is Antiqua Moore, like he mentioned, and I am a wife. I'm a grandmother, a daughter, and one of my biggest things that I love being is a wife and a grandmother. Like, I love my kids, don't get me wrong, but it's something about grandkids that do a little bit more for you. And let's see, I graduated from Western Kentucky University in 2004 with a bachelor's degree in finance. And I worked in finance for 14 years. Then after that, I got my life coaching certification. I still have that. Then after that, I ended up getting my real estate license and also my teaching certificate. So I teach for Warren County Public Schools as well. So I
See,
enjoy doing every bit of
I
it.
didn't know you was a teacher. What?
Yes, yes. I go
So, like,
and
what is it
I
that you don't do? Is the better question. What do you not do?
let's see. You know what? There are probably a lot of things that I don't do, but if I wanted to, I
You
would
could probably
definitely
do
do
them.
them.
You could do
I
them.
could do them. Yes, I believe
Exactly.
that.
I
Mm-hmm.
believe it too. Like, legit. I totally believe it. So let's jump into these questions. And as I put in the
Mm-hmm.
comments, you all, if you have any questions tonight, please leave them below, and we are gonna give her the
Mm-hmm.
opportunity to answer any of these questions. We just gonna free range it. But the first question that I want to ask you is, what comes to your mind when you hear the word healing before your next chapter? When you hear that statement, what comes to your mind immediately?
It what comes to my mind is that you're content with who you are. A lot of people see content as a bad thing because they don't feel like you're in a mood or a state to push yourself. But the point is not to push yourself. So by content, I mean being present, being in the now, and enjoying what is good, bad, ugly until you're satisfied within yourself. So that's what comes to mind when I think about healing before the next chapter. You're okay to do the work. You're fighting for yourself. You're just not willing to take any baggage forward in any endeavor. And that just doesn't mean relationships, because when we're talking about healing, we're talking about ourselves. We're not thinking about a partner, and we're
Like
not
that.
thinking about getting married. We're thinking about healing in order to be your best self for you. So, I mean, it's so that you can focus on your goals. You are able to sit, you're able to be content with who you are, and you're okay. You're good.
I like that. I like that. So,
Mhm.
with being a mother, being a grandmother, being a
Mhm.
wife, being a
Mhm.
daughter, being
Mhm.
all of those things, what type of healing did you have to do before you went into the life coaching stratosphere, or
Oh my gosh.
or the
Mm.
like, even before you got married? What type of healing did you have to do to get yourself prepared for marriage?
I had to learn to be okay with me. So a lot of times people think that, okay, if I get a wife or if I get a husband, this feeling that I have, this loneliness, this emptiness will disappear. You think that a void will be filled by someone else, but the fact of the matter is, it doesn't. You even start to feel a little bit more lonely than you were feeling if you get into something before you're ready, because you don't have anything to offer and you don't know how to offer it. So I feel like just being okay with yourself. And I read a lot of books. I'm a big reader. So I found that I like to be a fixer, and I thought that that would make me feel better. So I learned I had to heal that part of me, because with my kids and with my mom, with my family, if even if they mentioned something and they didn't even want help, I would immediately want to fix it for them or whatever. But that's a form of being codependent in your, I would say, in the time of your life at that point. You want something to do. So it's not about helping those other people. It's about trying to take control of their narrative. And so I had to learn how to, in order to help myself, I had to learn how to stop trying to fix other people and being all up in their business. So that's one of the things that I did. I worked on minding my own business.
Mm.
And of course, I was still there for my family because I do love my family, but it was taking so much energy because I was using them as a distraction from myself. So I read this really great book called Codependence No More. And it tells you why you're doing what you're doing, why you're trying to be a fixer. So I read that book, and then it was a part of myself that felt like I wasn't being the highest me. Like I was needing, like even in my previous relationship, like I was needing to, I was always anxious. Like I wanted to try to always be fixing it instead of letting the other person be them. So I ended up reading another book by Iyanla Vanzant. It's called In the Meantime. In the Meantime is all about getting to your higher self, your higher power. And it's basically coming, the way she describes it is coming out of the basement into the attic. So once you get your dust yourself off and start making actions and making goals to get out of the basement, and then once you get to the attic, it's kind of like your higher spiritual self. So a lot of the work that I did was Googling or reading articles like, why do I feel this way? Why do I feel that way? What's going on with me? And then the more you research and the more you try to understand what you're going through and you ask the questions, even a lot of times your friends won't have the answers. Like you reading and find someone who's been through it and who's written about it is something that you can take and internalize for yourself was huge for me. So it took a lot of research and understanding myself, and then I knew I was where I needed to be when it's kind of like God moves you when everything flows. You know you're ready. If you have to resist and you're anxious and you're trying to fight it and you're all nervous about it, you're not ready. So a lot of the things that I dared to do was whenever it flowed and there was no resistance. So I do a lot of research when I'm feeling a certain way. I analyze my own internal being. I I figure out what's going on for me. That's when I stop and be like, hey, I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling depressed. Something's going on with me. It's not about the external world, it's the internal world. So how can I work on this?
And I love that. I love that. I absolutely love that. So, family, Real Talk Monday family, I already asked y'all, do y'all have your notebooks and pens out? Because all night tonight, she's going to be dropping gems for y'all. She's going to be dropping them
Mm-hmm.
gems. So, do y'all have your notebooks and pens out and ready? So, man, one thing that stuck out to me was you said you had to learn to be okay with you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had to learn that about your codependency on
Mm-hmm.
on being a fixer, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm the same way. I'm one that
Yes.
tries to fix everything and
Mm-hmm.
then run myself ragged trying to do it and run myself
Mm-hmm.
in the ground while I'm trying to be there for everybody else.
And more than likely, your advice, your suggestions, um, all of
Mhm.
the wisdom that you provide, they don't really um, take it to heart. And the
Mhm.
only thing you're doing is exhausting yourself and getting frustrated because they did not. And that is part of being a person who it's a control thing. It's not even about them, it's about you. So when I learned that fixing people was about me and not about the person, it was a selfish thing actually. So you think you're doing what's best for them when really you're trying to fix something in you. You're trying to be better. You're trying to feel better by taking control of somebody else's life.
In other ways, what you was doing was you trying to fix somebody else's life to make yourself feel better. Because since I can't control what's going on in my life, let me try to control what's going on with yours.
It's so subconscious that you don't even see it as that. You think, I'm helping them. Why won't they listen? And I know what's best. You don't know what's best because a lot of times we don't even know what's best for our own lives. Like, how can you fix somebody else's life when a lot of times it is so hard to fix ourselves? But with the right attitude and with the right resources, it's definitely possible to work on yourself. And a lot of these things you have to do from a place of numbness, a place of sadness, a place of depression. Like it's like you feel what you're feeling and it's okay, but you have to do what's real. So you have to take steps. It's okay to feel, but you also have to do what's real, which is
Take the
confronting the
steps.
things that. Mhm. And so my suggestion with anything that you're feeling is to Google it, or and it will keep bringing you to article after article until something just hits and you're like, this makes sense. And then you'll start getting books that recommended that you could read. And so it's just so many things that that is possible to do. And I say once you reach that level of contentment and you're not anxious and you're not looking for the next endeavor and you're comfortable where you are and you feel like you can sit in your space and do what you're doing without constantly wanting to jump from one thing to other, you're reaching your contentness, and that is what's necessary. You need to know how to be still. You know, even when you want to hear God, you have to be still. You know, the voice of God is like a whisper, but everything else is like noise. And it's like you hear all the noise, but if you don't sit still long enough, you don't hear the whispers, you know?
I like that. I like that. I like that. When you said
Mm-hmm.
being still, like that is something that I'm learning. I'm learning that. I'm having to learn that
Mm-hmm.
is being
Mm-hmm.
still because anybody that knows me knows my motto is all gas, no brakes. We going. These anybody that's really cool with me, as cool as you are, y'all know these last 3 to 4 months, it's been nonstop. I've every weekend I've had something going on. I had somewhere I had to
Mm-hmm.
be, some precinct engagement I had to be at, something going on. And finally I could tell it was taking a toll on me. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, okay, hold up. This ain't healthy. Let me and I'm like, I used to do this all the time when I first got into ministry. When I was younger, I could do this and then my body had to let me know, yeah, but you ain't 17, 18 years old anymore. You
Right, right,
34.
right.
You
Mm-hmm.
34.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We need
Yep. Yep.
rest.
We need rest. We need mental rest, not just physical rest. You know, we need the mental rest. And
Hmm.
a lot of people think that being busy and constantly doing something is production. Well, that's not necessarily true because you can do and be just as effective doing half if you're smart. So it's about working smarter, not harder. And I don't like stress. I don't like to stress. And I feel like if I'm stressing and my day is overfilled, I don't want that. I'm gonna back off and I'm gonna see what I can eliminate because success for me is doing what I do well, but being at peace with it too. So
Mm,
I'm not gonna overdo it like that.
I
That's
like
not me.
that. I like that. In
Hmm.
other words, you on your Apostle Paul status where he says, I've learned in whatever season I'm in to be content.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. And, from all my readings, I read that if you're depressed, you're spending way too much time in the past. If you're anxious, you're thinking about the future way too much. But if you're content, you're in the moment. If you're at peace, you're in the moment. So a lot of times depression, anxiety comes from wanting to be, either you're stuck in the past or you're trying to already make the future turn out like you want it to turn out and you're anxious about it. So, and all we have is today. So making the best of today will already automatically make tomorrow better without having to think about tomorrow. You set your goals, you set your mindset for today,
Mm-hmm.
and then naturally you're going to have a better tomorrow.
I like that. Set your goals and set your mindsets for the day, and then automatically you're gonna have a better tomorrow. I like that. I like that.
Hmm. Hmm. It's
Man,
all
that's
about
powerful.
intention. All about intention.
Mm. Man, that's powerful. All right, let's go on to this next question. How did you become a life coach?
Because I was a fixer. I was a fixer and I wanted to help people. But then I started asking myself, how can I help people in a healthy way that doesn't, um, it's not about control. It's not about me. How can I help people and it be about them? And in life coaching, we definitely had to learn the difference between a fixer and a coach, because there's a
Mm.
big difference. So by doing that, that also further gave me the tools, to work on myself, because I was like, okay, these are fixer habits and these are coaching habits. So how do I distinguish between the two? And then I learned that just because somebody bring up a problem to me doesn't necessarily they mean they want me to fix it. Because I would always be like, okay, they brought it to me. That must mean I need to do something with it, come up with a solution. And then I'm all like up in their business, like, hey, I know how you can fix that, or I know what you can do. But going into life coaching actually helped me be able to help people better. That's why I always wanted to help people, but not in a fixer way. Hmm.
Mm. So, man, that's good right there, because a lot of times find ourselves doing we can find ourselves doing what we was meant to do, but doing it in the wrong way.
Yes. Yes. That's a great way to put it. Hmm.
Because a lot of times we right on the path of where God wants us to be, but we doing it our way, and God is like, but that ain't the way that I want you to do it. I want you to do it
Right.
this way over here.
Hmm. And I firmly believe that God is in each and every one of us, and we have this internal compass. And when it feels right. Like I can almost feel my internal compass and the God in me. Like I literally can feel it. And so I know when something feels okay, this is a productive way to do things. This is good. And
Mm-hmm.
then I know when something's not productive, or it's me controlling the narrative of somebody else's life, or me not feeling um, my goals and my gifts by doing it the way I want to do it instead of the way God wants me to do it.
Okay, okay. So, all right, I'm gonna ask you another question, because
Mm-hmm.
when I tell you, since I have met you, this is the happiest that I have seen you, and this is like the happiest that I've seen you in the longest time. So, how did you know that you was ready to be married? How did you know? Because
I
I
knew
can
I was
tell
ready.
that he is loving you the proper way. He's loving you the way that you need to
Mm-hmm.
be loved.
I could tell that I was ready when I wasn't afraid to lose him.
Mm,
I didn't have there was nothing desperate in me. There was nothing that made me feel like, oh my God, what if he leaves? Or what if something happens? Or like, when is he going to ask me to marry him? Like, I was just fine, like everything progressed the way it was supposed to progress without expectations. I had no expectations of him. I didn't put any on him. I didn't ask nothing about like what are we what are we doing, and he didn't make me feel like I needed to ask those things.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he didn't have me anxious, and I didn't pressure him. So everything was just a natural flow. To be honest, I knew I was going to marry him on the first date, though.
See,
I think.
that goes back to what I said, and I'm sure if we had him on the show, he would say within a few months he knew that you was gonna be who he was gonna marry. Because I've said this on multiple
Mm-hmm.
occasions. A man that is a grown man knows within 2 to 3 dates if he's gonna marry you or not.
Yep, and that's it. 2 to 3 dates. Like our first date was, we knew each other since 2018, I believe it was, and we were just friends and talking. He lived in Louisville, and I'm in Bowling Green, right? So we were just talking. So we were talking and just friends, and he wanted to go on a date, and I was like, I'm good or whatever, like, because I was okay with myself, you know. And so finally, he was going to be on his way to Florida, and so he was like, oh, can I at least stop by and see you, like, or whatever. I was like, yeah, sure, come on, stop by. So he stopped by, and then after that we couldn't stop thinking of each other. He went on to Florida. He has some business there. He came back, and we made a date to for that
So he
weekend.
basically wore you down. He wore you down, basically.
But not to a point, like, I think he put it out there, and then, but he didn't really ask much more after that. And I
He put the
think,
ball in
like,
your court.
yes. And so, but after that first date, I think we both knew, though. We both knew.
I like that. I like that. Because I'm telling you
Mhm.
now, y'all, like, all I knew was I logged in on Facebook one day and I'm like, wait, my sister done got me. Wait, what the? When this happened?
Because he was like, he proposed on April 24th. That was a year after our first date. And I was like, oh, you want to marry somebody, huh? So June 24th of the same year, yeah, we were getting married. So I got me 10 people. And I said, come on, if
I
that's
love
what you
it.
want.
I love it. I love it. I love it. It don't take all that extra. I love it.
So I did, like, it was so small with a big vibe feel. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
had my granddaughter. She and I, we went to Hobby Lobby and made us a little flower girl basket and because when he asked me to marry him, he had, like, I was in the shower, I came out, and he was on one knee, and rose petals were
Oh,
everywhere.
so he done
And I
watched
was,
the Tyler Perry movie. He done watched the Tyler Perry movie and then
I don't think
noticed.
I saw the same movie because when I came out of the shower, of course, I was listening to Lil Jon, and I walk around the corner like,
Not Little John. Oh no. No, sis, no. You was
yes, I
not.
was.
That is not the
Mhm.
mood at that moment. No. That is not the mood. You should have been
And
listening to
so,
some Luther, some Babyface, not no Little
let me tell you,
John.
because I was in the shower and I was like, okay, I'm in the shower, just like, okay. And then so I
You
come
in
out
the
of the shower and I saw,
clump. You in the shower
I saw,
clump.
and then he had rose petals. I say, oh, he taking his first year, 1 year anniversary thing a little serious. I say, okay. So I come around the corner. He's on one knee in the living room. So I put the rose petals that he used in the flower basket, and
Ah, that's
that's what she put out at the wedding. Yeah.
so they
But then
asking the
my
question.
brother,
What's up about Little John?
get crumb.
All right, all right, all right.
Oh goodness. He said, and I'm just sitting there like a deer in headlights because I wasn't expecting it for like probably another year. It really wasn't. And so I was just sitting there looking at him. And then he was like, "Can you turn that down?"
I'm done. I'm so
Yep.
because I can so picture this moment right now, knowing you the way that I know you. I can picture this moment in my head right now. I can so see
it. Uh-huh. Want to know something that's kind of exciting? Like, so I moved to Kentucky from Florida in 96.
it.
And I came up here. Of course, I had my 2 kids at the time. And my brother was living here. So I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to go and go to that college y'all got up there. And so I did. But my husband, he ended up leaving Florida in 1994. So 2 years before me. And so he went to Job Corps. Then he went to K-State is where he graduated from. But so happened, we're from the same county in Florida, but we didn't know each other.
So once again, God had to get y'all out of one area, move y'all to somewhere where y'all barely knew anybody hardly, and then he connected y'all years later. That's crazy.
And it like having so much in common and knowing some of the same people and being able to talk about back home is like epic. It's like we're on the same page when we get ready to really talk our Florida Ebonics. You know, we understand each other. So
Somebody that
it's
gets
like,
it. Somebody that gets it.
like when he's talking, I understand the words because not everybody can understand Florida people when they talk. So we kind of like just
Y'all
get
get
each
each
other.
other.
Mm-hmm.
And she's into your thing. I like that. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The next question that I have for you. What advice do you have for someone who struggles with trust issues after a traumatic relationship experience?
Whew, I know what that's like. For me, it was never, for me, it's not about, it wasn't for about trust issues for me. Mainly because I'm skeptical of everybody in the first place. Like everybody deserve a little skepticism.
Mm-hmm.
But if anybody struggles with trust issues, it's all about loving yourself first. Because if you have trust issues and you're afraid somebody's going to do something to you, that means that you can be fractured. You're already vulnerable. And you know that they have a power to fracture you. So getting yourself to where you can say, even if worst case scenario, I'm going to be okay. Like they can't break me. So it's not about trusting the other person. It's about trusting that you can survive whatever comes your way, because nothing's guaranteed and it's never going to be. So each individual will be themselves. The only constant will be you. So you're the one who will need the work. You're the one who's going to be the person that needs to get themselves to a point of, no matter what this person throw my way, worst case scenario, I'll be fine. So it's okay. Like, you don't have to live your life in fear of what if they do this? What if they do that? You can say, what if they do it? I'm going to live. I'm going to move on.
I like that. I like
So it's about
that.
strengthening yourself, because you're never guaranteed of what you're going to get.
I like that. I like that. Because sometimes we give people too much power over our life. Sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's saying that I'm broken and they have the power to further break me. And we all should always protect ourselves no matter what, anyway, to a certain extent. But by that I mean there's you can give 99%, but keep 1% to yourself. Just something, something that whenever if all hits the fan, you got some reserve. You're like, okay, I'm good. Like women, always be able to, you know, pay your own rent for 3 months or something, worst case scenario, just have some preventive measures in case, because we're not guaranteed that our relationship is going to just flourish and happily ever after. So just have a contingency plan. I mean, it sounds bad. That says that you're thinking that in advance that your marriage is going to fail. Well, it could. So
be prepared for whatever.
Right.
Because when you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
To fail, yes.
I like that. I like that. So my next question to you is, how important is therapy before a relationship? And do you recommend premarital counseling?
We didn't have it. We didn't have premarital counseling. We just winged it. But I say for that, it depends on the individual. If you've never been in a marriage or been married, maybe going to therapy and understanding what the other person expects of you as a wife or a husband is a great idea. Going to therapy to see what the temperature on a thermostat in the house should be is a good idea. You'll be surprised, Just like going and talking to these things, because a therapist, a marital counselor will know what to ask and the proper questions to ask. So I would say definitely, because we were much older, in our 40s, we've lived a bit. But if you're ready to start a family, have kids, and you need to understand the financial impact of it and who pays what and how it gets all broken down, and that way you can get rid of the whole, individual attitude.
I like that. I like that. So, okay, I'm going to ask you another question. Do you believe that social media can destroy in a relationship?
No, I don't, because if a relationship is going to be destroyed, it's going to be destroyed. And if a person is malice, a person is malice. If they're whatever they're gonna do with or without social media, they're gonna do it, because most affairs begin at work without social media, So if a person is gonna do something and they're set on doing it, I think they're gonna do it regardless. I mean, if maybe a person spends too much time or, just browsing or not, or been neglectful, that's different. But when it comes to like temptation, if you're a person who can be tempted, you're going to be tempted on or off social media. I know a lot of people say it and a lot of people believe that, but from my mindset, I just believe what's going to happen is going to happen on or off. I mean, people do go on, people are in relationships and they still have malice intent, but this was before social media. People were like cheating and doing stuff like going to the club. And so
Getting
I
other
think
people's
that,
numbers, all that.
So what's in the heart is in the heart. And if
Okay.
you're just not a good person, you're going to do those things.
So this was a question asked from social media. Our fam, how early in a relationship should you go to therapy?
I would say when you're considering getting serious, say if you're considering a major step like engagement, I think right at engagement would be a good time. That way you don't have, I don't think 2 or 3 days or a week before the wedding is a good idea. And so I would say right at engagement time would be a good time to go.
I agree with that. I would agree with that for sure because at that
Mm-hmm.
point you need to know where each other's mindset is because especially y'all might have came from two different sides of
Mm-hmm.
thinking and like let's say search is a deal breaker or is like important to you but to your spouse search
Mm-hmm.
is not a deal breaker.
Right. Exactly. Mm-hmm. I mean, you
Oh,
can only know a person so much. Counseling can only do so much because people are so good at hiding and putting and wearing masks that there is no therapist that can see through the facade of a narcissist or a person with ill will or and some things are just not you can't figure them out. It's just come from experience,
I feel like all right.
but you can minimize your risk. Mm.
I like that. Here's another question. Do you recommend doing dating multiple people until someone proves themselves? Is this a good idea?
I personally didn't believe in dating multiple people, and the reason why is I don't like a lot of people's energy, and I feel like that when God sends you the one who's supposed to be in your life, you won't have to look for them, and you won't have you'll just it's just something that will flow about it. It's something that will be so natural that you don't have to just kind of go out and go through the process of elimination because it's just I don't like dating, didn't like dating. Before I got married, I probably in 6 years, I think I went on about 3 dates.
3 dates and 6 sis.
Hmm. And they were all one time. Hmm.
Mm. Okay, okay.
Only because I just kept in my mind that I would know.
I feel
I,
that.
I like I said, when I had my first date with my husband, I knew, you know, it's
I feel
like,
that.
and I felt that going on a first date with him was a good investment, like this won't be a waste of my time.
I feel that. I like that idea. I like it. Here's another question. Do you think going to therapy in the early stages of a relationship is a red flag?
No, because I feel like the going to therapy in the early stages lets you know that I read somewhere that it said that if a relationship seems so perfect and you don't need therapy, well, not necessarily need therapy, but you don't argue or you don't have discord, that is usually one person controlling the whole relationship and the other person is just submitted. And
Mm.
so if you're not arguing and you're not fussing and you're not standing your ground, you're most likely submitting to the will of the other person. And then for the sake of peace, and then
You just
you feel like
going
you don't
along to
need
get along.
therapy. And so I feel like whenever you're having discord or you're not agreeing on things and you're still being true to yourself, each person is. And if you need a mediator to help understand, how to back off or back down and merge into one, then I think that's a good sign actually. Now that doesn't include somebody hitting you or um, talking crazy to you or
Hmm.
being mean or emotional abuse. I'm not talking about those things. I'm talking about just deciding on whether the thermostat should be on 74 or 68, just things
The
that
little stuff. The little stuff.
mm, hmm
The little
that
stuff
can
that can
cause.
make. Yeah, I feel that.
Hmm.
Do you believe in marrying a person without spending time with them? Because like those shows,
Spending
Married at
time.
First Sight, Married at First Sight, Love is Blind. Do you believe that?
I believe it, but I believe it's rare. So spending time, what is spending time? Is that like
seeing them in person, maybe.
Oh no. I think I was thinking maybe just falling in love in a very short amount of time, or
Yep,
but
it was
like
seeing them
these
in person.
no, Lord. Mm-mm. I couldn't. I know people do arranged marriages, but
It couldn't be
for
you.
me, no. What um like God says, the Bible says, believe none you hear and half of what you see. If you can't believe half of what you see, you might think about none of what you see.
Mm, mm, man, that's a tough one. That would be a tough
Mm,
one. Mm-mm,
my nerves too bad for that. I couldn't do that.
mm-mm. I would be kicked off of Love Is Blind because I would be trying to sneak back there and be like, "Yo, let me just see what he looks like real quick, Tommy. Let me just see what
Mm-mm,
he looks like real quick."
mm-mm. I'm good on that one. But to each their own.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna
Mm-hmm.
say it doesn't work because there are arranged marriages in other cultures all the time. So that
True,
works out. Hmm.
man. I'm almost at that point to where like mm, I got. I'm 34 years old now. I got about
Hmm.
one more good
One
relationship in
more.
me. If this don't work, I'm going to Africa and I'm getting an arranged marriage. Bump is. I'm
Oh
gonna just come
gosh.
back and y'all gonna be like, wait, he just got married and did. Don't
Like,
ask no
I don't know who this
questions.
woman.
Don't ask no questions. I told y'all I got one more good one in me.
Coming to America.
Exactly. Exactly. Do you think if a person wants to move on and is not interested in the person, they should tell them?
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Like, just be like, there's no need in wasting time. Just be like, hey, you know, um, this isn't working. I think that, we're not a good fit. It's just not good vibes, and just be, I mean, especially in the early stages, and well, in the late stages too.
Mm-hmm.
If you're dating, and I don't care if it's been a year, or you don't even need a reason. If you're not feeling it anymore, just, let them know.
Mm-hmm. Because I
I'm
feel
good.
like, yeah, I would agree with that. Because I feel like sometimes we get so caught up in the honeymoon stage. And
Hmm.
when we in that honeymoon stage, everything seems to be so
Put on some
perfect. Mm.
rose colored glasses.
And then it's like,
Mm.
then life hits, and you like, wait, I wasn't ready for this. I wasn't ready for this.
Mm.
Where is this coming from? Where
Well, let me take these shades off live. What you just said?
yeah, like, wait, what? What'd you just say? Like, you
Mm-hmm.
said Kobe better than LeBron. What?
Yeah, I know one thing. Um, it is definitely like my husband and I, we didn't live together because before we got married, because I just didn't want to like play house. I was so good where I was, and everything just like my grandbabies come sleep in the bed. We all
Hmm.
chilling, watching TV or whatever. So I was good. I was good. So we didn't move in together after we got married.
Y'all didn't move in together after you got married?
Mm, mm-mm. I wasn't
Wait.
doing it.
So after y'all got married, you didn't move in together.
No, we moved in together after we got married.
Oh,
No, we didn't.
okay. I'm like, wait, what? Wait, back
We,
up. What?
we didn't move in together before we got married.
Okay. I was like, wait a
Mm.
minute, back up, back up. You're gonna have to break this one down to me. Cause
like what's this new age stuff?
yeah, like hold on. Explain that to me again, please.
Like, how did I miss that one?
Yes. How long should you wait to tell someone you love them?
When you feel it.
Mm.
When you feel it, there's no set amount of time. I don't think there is. I could have told my husband the same night, first date. I could have. Man,
But you wasn't trying to scare him away, so you was like,
not
I'll wait.
no. I was trying to get a second date. Our first date lasted like he cooked for me at my house,
Oh, so he was
and
showing out. He was showing out. He was like, let me
he
tell you
did
what you
that.
can get. Let me tell you what you can get. Hold on.
And we were listening to vinyls on the record player,
Come on.
and
Wait.
we
Wasn't
had
no
the.
Little John that night? Little
It
John wasn't
was
playing
no
that.
love. We didn't get crunk. And so we had the back door open. It was raining, and we just
Oh,
laughed and talked. And 2 hours later, after we ate, we were like, it is like 1 o'clock in the morning. So it went by so fast. Yep. I was like, don't you burn that while you over here trying to dance.
I love that. I love that. I love that. That's that old school romantic type.
Yeah, he opens the door like from the day one. He still opens the door.
Okay. Do you believe people can love each other after a conversation on the phone?
Yes, because it's a vibe and it's a feeling, and I think that makes it even more better
I agree.
because it's like the screen is dropped, and it's kind of like you're just seeing into pure soul, and it's like I think if you feel like their words are real and if you're realistic about it and not those typical lines of hey beautiful, good morning beautiful, just the whole when they're being vulnerable to you,
Mm,
when they're
I
sharing
like that.
parts of themselves, not regular conversation about, laughing and talking is good. I think that when it comes to regular conversations, if you're laughing and talking, genuinely laughing and talking, that is a peep into the soul as well.
I like that. I like that.
So it doesn't even have to be deep, it can be just attentiveness that you can sense.
hmm I agree. I agree. I totally agree with that. So, next question I have for you. Last one before we go into them getting to know where they can find you at, because there's definitely going to be a part two to this interview. We
Yay!
got to have a part two. We got to have a part two. And you got to bring my brother in law on for part two. You got to bring him on with you.
I
Do you,
will.
do you believe that people pick from their pain? Do you believe that people
Mm,
pick from their pain? And if so, why?
absolutely. They do it. It's a subconscious thing. It's comfort. It's about comfort, because when you start picking something outside of your pain, it's like you're going to instantly have a resistance to it and it's going to feel unnatural. So it's going to be like, oh, this is a good man. Be like, this is not comfortable for me. I need, what I'm used to. And it's not that overt. It's definitely subtle. But that's the premise behind it, that you're gonna pick what's familiar and you're gonna pick um just something that you feel like will flow because that's what and you know how that's gonna turn out. It's like almost knowing that this is gonna end badly and you have that roadmap, but when you get something out of that element like a good person that does not have those that as this one book I read called A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. It's called The Pain Body. And when it's like this your body as you go through life stores pain. We all have it. It's just a natural part of existence. As some books call it, or some readings call it, is your shadow self. It's that part of yourself that you want to get rid of. But the shadow self, you don't necessarily have to kick it out. because it's that part of yourself like, oh, I know you're not playing with me. So, you know what I'm saying? It's that protective self. But it's also that self that will accept because it's so used to pain, it thrives in pain, that it
Mm-hmm.
needs pain to continue to survive. And that's usually when people are
Yeah.
picking or engaging based on ego. The ego kind of decides what needs to be done instead of the soul or subconscious.
Yeah. So we got a couple of more questions, and
Mm-hmm.
one of them they said is for me. So we'll go with that one first. Do you have someone special in your life? Yes, I do. And when the time is right, social media will know who she is. But most definitely, I am happy where I'm at. It ain't always sunshine. It ain't always roses. But
Mm-mm.
even through the bad
Mm-mm.
times, even through the bad times, I wouldn't have rather have anybody else. And here's a question for you: do you believe long distance relationships can work?
I do. I believe they can work. I mean, we were together for a year. I mean, I know Louisville is not that far, but it's
Mm-mm.
far to me. I mean, so, but I feel like that would be because, nearly 2 hours, I believe it could be considered like a long distance. And I was like, never wondering what he was doing or wanted to pop up or we were just normal human beings about it, you know? So I believe that once that person gets like you feel a connection and you feel a level of trust with that person. Like I said, trust is not necessarily um, knowing with 100% certainty that that person is not going to do anything. It's knowing that you're going to be okay if they do. So once you let go of all the like, I could get hurt, or he might be, or she might be over there or up there doing this or that, then you can actually truly enjoy the relationship without ruining it because you're always trying to wonder what's going on.
I agree.
Because what's in the wash will come out in the rinse. They don't get away with it for very long if something is going on. So,
I agree. I would agree. I will agree. And like I said, we appreciate you coming on. And I definitely want you for a part two. For sure.
I would be here.
Yes. And you
And
got to
if
bring
any
my
of you
brother.
out there, I will. I will.
So
He's in
let them
his
know where they,
cave.
let my followers know where they can find you at. And shoot, you need to bring mama too. You need to bring mama too. All right.
Gotta be a
Tell our
mess.
followers.
You should. Now, you want some real relationship advice? Ask that one.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
She a mess.
I
She a-
love Mama. I love Mama. If y'all need a good laugh, go to her page. I promise you, at least once a day, Mama is saying something crazy. And I love it. I love it.
She keeps me young. She
For
really
sure.
does.
All right. So tell our followers where they
Well,
can
yeah.
find you at.
Yeah. You can find me on Facebook, Antiqua Moore homegirl, because I sell real estate, of course. So yeah, if you want to buy a house or sell a house, if you're a first time home buyer, I love working with first time home buyers, even if your credit's not so good or whatever. It don't matter. We can get there, as long as you're willing to do the work. So Antiqua Moore homegirl on Facebook, or 270-282-1474.
Sis, you done got booked for another podcast, the Blemish Beauty Podcast, which is the podcast that Sarah Renee is on and runs. They want to have you on their show at some point. So
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
will definitely connect y'all. That way y'all can get that set up. And for real, Sarah was supposed to be on it tonight, but she did have to handle some mama duties tonight. So we appreciate her. We love her. She will be on with us again very soon. We already know it. We only have 2 more episodes left in this season. Next week it will be Tevis and myself, and then the week after that, Sarah and I will be back for another fire episode for you all. And as we close out, we want to always let y'all know sometimes our disappointments are nothing more than God's appointments, meaning sometimes if we look at it as bad, God is only turning it around for our good. Stay blessed, be blessed, and be a blessing to someone else. And we will see y'all over on the podcast, where the podcast drops at 12 midnight. So go on over to Pandora, everywhere that you can get podcasts from. We'll Talk Monday is over there. Let's
Yes.
go.
Thanks.